What's happening, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my office. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. It's Monday here in Austin, Texas. Had a great hustling weekend, but today we're going to be talking about 8 items that sell for 50 plus on eBay. So I do have firsthand knowledge on about half of these items, and the other ones I'm just really looking for them all the time. So I figure why not do a show and share some of these really cool bolos with you guys. So very important. Anyways, let me know if you can hear me. That's really important as well. If you get a chance, and I'll probably remind at the very end of this video as well, as you're watching this stuff and as you're learning some bolos and things to look out for, things that you can resell on eBay, make sure you get this guide, which is the first link down below in the description feed. Okay, go check that out right now and get it on your phone. Very, very important. In fact, I'll probably end up doing some of the shows this week, a couple shows regarding some of the items that are in that guide, so make sure you get it. Outside of that, official Green Room shirt, really nice. Go check it out. We have some Green Room merch, I think, in one of the links down below as well, but it's also on the website if you are wondering. Sound is good. All right, sounds good. We got Swamp Picker in the house, Lush Production, Keeping Deals, Ivania Flores. Okay, so I want to do a screen share type show. Let's get to item number 1 right now. So I'm going to share my screen, and here's the first item right here. Hopefully you guys can see this. So we're going to be going through, and here are the metrics that I'm using when we do this show. Okay, for one of the metrics right here is going to be condition always used. All right, another metric is sold listings. All right, and then the other one that we're going to look at is sort by highest, which is this right here. Okay, so you can see all that, sort by highest, blah blah blah. So we're looking at the very first item that you can sell for definitely 50 or more. It would be a cuckoo clock. Very important. Even broken cuckoo clocks sell pretty well. But let's take a look at some of these right here. I haven't found any that have sold north of 200, but for the most part, I haven't found a single one that has sold less than 50 as well. So, but look at these cuckoo clocks, and there's a lot that have like a lot of bids on them, So that's really important to note that there's people are trying to get these things, and 69 bids at $395, 32 bids at $413. Anytime I find cuckoo clocks, they're almost always $10 and less. They're sitting in some kind of box. The weights are there. Things are kind of tangled up for a little bit, and every now and then the mechanism is broken. But it doesn't matter. There are a lot of people out there that want to fix their cuckoo clocks, or they restore them and just resell them. But either way, I want you guys to definitely start looking for these at garage sales, because, I mean, these are amazing. I'm hoping to find one of the ones that's north of 200, but I have found some in the 200 range. Now, one of the ways that you can kind of tell, like I figure out that the ones with more color are pretty desirable, right? But then I find that the ones with like 1 or 2 birds plus some leaves at the top is pretty awesome as well. Those are a little bit more common that you'll find those. In fact, majority of the ones that I have found have been Black Forest ones that look kind of like this, right? Now, cuckoo clocks come in all sorts of varieties and sizes and stuff like that. See, so this person's actually giving a kind of frame of reference how big this cuckoo clock is. But I have found them small, and I have found them regular size. I have actually hustled this one in broken status, not this one itself, but this is one of the ones, I believe this was a Black Forest one, had a bird that was, and none of these leaves and stuff were broken or anything, 3 weights. I believe that when I hustled mine actually had a bird that came out of the front instead of like maybe people. So, I mean, it was pretty easy hustle. I remember the one that went close to 200, or it was 200. I mean, it was like nothing at a garage sale, but it was really big. I remember that. It was actually a full-size cuckoo clock. So, and it didn't work. I mean, I listed it untested, and I'm pretty sure someone figured it all out. But these are kind of common, like the ones with the little birds on top. So we'll go to page 3 and kind of show you guys what is going on. And I see right here, Lush Production says, lots of bids. The seller probably could have asked a higher point for buy it now and fixed price. I completely agree with you, Lush Production. That's exactly how I handle all of my stuff. I don't do these kind of bids or anything like that. But here we are in the 250 category, and you can still kind of see that general kind of bird with leaves and stuff on these. And as I go into, let's look at page 5 real quick, and you'll start seeing a whole lot of those and a lot less of the more colored ones. See, you'll start seeing a little bit more of just the normal colored cuckoo clocks. Here is one that's kind of interesting. Look at this. This is a vintage hand-carved extra large cuckoo clock topper. This is not even the clock. This is just the top of it, right? It's pretty nuts. It's like this top piece right here, but this one right here is 150 bucks, nothing broken, looks amazing. But you can kind of see that as we start getting, you know, sub 200 or around the $100 range, that a lot of these Cuckoo clocks are becoming like one tone, like just brown. And so definitely look for Cuckoo clocks. Very important. A really good bolo. I mean, I still have one in my store right now. I think it's sitting right around like 60 bucks or something like that. Here's another kind of Cuckoo clock topper, 100 bucks. And this is a little bit more of like what you will find on a, you know, quarterly basis. If you just keep your eyes open. The thing about Cuckoo clocks is they're almost always not going to be on the table. They're going to be in some box just sitting somewhere, and you kind of have to dig around, and if you're lucky enough, you find the box. I've never found one just straight out in the open, set up on a wall, and almost every time I find a Cuckoo clock, it's at a garage sale or a garage sale, yard sale, or a church sale, but almost never a thrift store. So definitely something to look forward to, you know, trying to find. Like I said, even in broken status, they sell for pretty good money. Here's a lot of old Cuckoo clocks for parts and repairs, 65 bucks. Here's one that, who knows if this one works or anything like that. Now, one of the ways that you can kind of tell, let me kind of give you some insight, because a Cuckoo clock is essentially a shell with a clock, and it's got a device that, you know, brings the little bird out or whatever, and it operates with weights and everything. You're not, you know, I have never been able to set up one correctly, and I just don't think I can, because they're just really, I don't know. I figure that the other person would figure it all out. But one of the most important things to do is to pop the back off, and maybe I can show you guys a picture here. And you want to be able to tell, you want to be able to describe what the jewel movement is inside and all that kind of stuff, because that's really important. So let me see if I can find the back of it, and maybe I can get you guys a picture of like what you need to do. Oh, here we go. Okay, like that. So the back is really interesting. It's kind of like the back of like a poster, you know, like if you hang a poster on a wall and you still got to put the print in there and everything. So you got to like back off those little tabs up there, and this wood piece comes out. And a lot of times the wood piece will have a hole in it or something like that, to where you can stick your finger, and then you can kind of, or sometimes you can just shine a light through the hole, and you can kind of tell what kind of clock movement you're dealing with inside the Cuckoo clock. Like, it's a lot better not to show this shot, but to show the shot with the door off. I'm surprised this person didn't do that. Maybe he did. Let's take a look. But yeah, you want to, okay, so he did take the door off right here, and you can see this. And this is really important, because you want to be able to tell in the ad like the jewels and the movement and anything else that you can decipher off of this one thing, which is the actual clock itself. And it more than likely is going to be made in Germany, maybe East West Germany, because that's where a majority of Cuckoo clocks are produced from. But more importantly, you'll get to see the jewel movement. I'm not going to pretend like I really know what it is, but I'm going to tell you that it's very important to find the jewel movement part or whatever like that. Like, as we get to the top ones, they are a lot more descriptive. And so yeah, just take a look at it. I think it's somewhere around 8 joules, 10 joules, 12 joule movement, whatever. And someone that's a little bit more of a pro could probably be in the feed here and help me out. But I wanted to make sure that you guys know this is definitely one of the 8 items that you should be looking for. I find a Cuckoo clock at least once every 6 months, at least. The last one that we found went to my brother, but yeah. And then the one I found before that came from a garage sale that had a bunch of people, like a fundraising kind of sale. Yeah, so like it had a bunch of people bringing stuff there, and that's where I found a Cuckoo clock there for like, I think it was like $8 or $5 or something like that. So definitely look out for Cuckoo clocks. I'm gonna go into the feed for 1 second and say hi to people. Yeah, hey, what's going on, peeps? So yeah, if you like these kind of shows, and if you're even learning something small, make sure you hit the like button. That's really important. Of course, when you get a chance, check out some of the links below. There's all kinds of cool stuff down there. Like, you can find Bonafide Hustler t-shirts. You can find links to the green room. Decide if you want to join. You can get the free guide. It's the first link down below. There's a lot of cool things down there. But let's go check out the next bolo here that I want to show you guys, because this is kind of interesting. So this is one that I haven't found, but I know Eric has found this many times over, my associate or my partner with the green room. So clothing iron, And I'm gonna definitely be on the lookout. I'm always on the lookout for these, but for some reason, like at some of the garage sales that I've seen these at, they've been, almost full price. So it's kind of tough. But yeah, so we're gonna go shipping highest first. The most important thing is to put used and sold listings. All right. So what we're going to be talking about are just basically clothes irons or presses. Okay, portable presses. So there are a couple things I want you guys to understand. And one, in the brand that Eric really knew a lot about, he's like, oh, these are such sleeper things to hustle or call it, are Rowenta irons. All right, a Rowenta iron. So there are two different types of irons. There's a more standard type of iron that you kind of see, and there's some that actually have the actual steamer just chilling there, right? So here's a professional one. If you ever find that base with the top on it right there, that's a really important thing to find. And you can see that in any kind of style, whether it's the white one or this one, it's still Rowenta, Rowenta, Rowenta. That's the brand that definitely look for. Now, as I was doing this list, I was like, damn, there's even a Singer press. Like, that's pretty cool. Like a Singer portable, clothes press, which if you don't know what a clothes press is, just go to your, local laundromat or laundromat or whatever, and just pay to get a shirt starched or whatever. And you'll see that they have these gigantic ones, where they just throw like a huge piece of the shirt in and they press it down real quick and then they take it off and then they put another piece of the shirt in there and they do it again. And it's really, really, really quick. It's much faster than using an iron actually. But you can see that the Black & Decker, the Singer clothes press is pretty interesting, right? I'm pretty sure one of us will find this at a garage sale for less than $10. But yeah, these Rowenta irons, and here's one that's really interesting. The second I saw this thing, I swear I started thinking Halo 4 and Halo 3 and the needle gun and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you get the joke or get the reference, that's great. But this definitely looks like it came from Halo, right? But Rowenta, right? Really important. Look at these Rowenta. Here's another brand that I've never seen, but Oliso. That's probably a decent bolo right there. And then these portable clothes press. Like, I know that I've probably walked past a bunch of these things at Savers or at garage sales. I didn't even know. So that's something definitely to keep in mind. But either way, here's some Rowenta ones right here. This is still a $50, bolo all day. And then we get down to like the little bit more everyday, like everyone has them. Black & Decker, Norelco, Hamilton Beach. All right, so you don't want to mess with those. But these Rowenta ones right here, 6 bids, 5103. This is probably a much better hustle at $69.99. Buy it now. Like, why is this person doing this? I don't know. This one right here, you can see that this one probably did a best offer of 75 or maybe $80. This one right here, 16 bids, got 72. Like, I more than likely would just go buy it now the entire time. So yeah, definitely something I want to tell you guys about. I have not bought one successfully yet. I mean, they're just been out of my price range, but Eric did find one when he was in Austin on one of the meetups 2 years ago. So I still look for them all the time, but anytime I find them at garage sales, like, they seem to be like, $20 to $40 for Rowenta. So I got to find the right one. Anyway, and I've never seen this crazy looking one before. So I don't know. Maybe I'm weird for looking for irons, but I'm going to be looking for irons. What's up, Zahir Malik? Yeah, man, the needle gun. If you've played Halo, you know what I'm talking about, the needler or whatever it's called. But yeah, so Tom Sawyer says, I've never thought about flipping clothes iron or presses. This is pretty cool. That's what I'm talking about. That's what these shows are all about, and I'll be firsthand admitting, like, I have a lot of bolos in my mind that I always want to share with you guys. And that's what's good about it. These are bolos that are proven by actual, how do I say it, but they're proven with research. I mean, this is actual research right here. You're seeing what has sold in the past 90 days on eBay with used too. Like, I don't put new, even though I'm pretty sure some of us can find some new stuff, but most of the times, we're thrifters and we're going to places like Savers and yard sales and garage sales, and you're going to be finding used things almost every single time. And it's not going to be new very, very often. If it is new, you shouldn't be using eBay in the first place. You should probably just throw it to FBA. But sold listings, used, this is how you do research right here, guys. This is how you do it. So this is what I'm looking at right there. Commit to memory, these brands, kind of like what it looks like, and definitely what a portable press kind of looks like, because as you find one, and maybe it's not a Singer portable press, it might be a Steam Fast, but still, 70 bids, 73 bids, 26 shipping. That in my book is 99, buy it now, or 110, buy it now. Like, see if you can find one, right? So the other one I want to show you, and I've had firsthand experience with this one. Now, the funny thing is I've had firsthand experience with it because I was building a really cool bike, but this is a really cool bolo. Maybe one of us will find it out there. I always look for these tires. I have found 2 of them so far. So Wild Gripper tire. A tire. So this is pretty cool. I wanted to show you guys a couple things. So we'll go to used. Now, not the biggest market ever, but these are really hard. These are tough to find, but they're very easy to spot. So a Wild Gripper is made by Michelin. Okay, Wild Gripper tire is typically a tire that's, it's got some green on it, and it has a sidewall that's either black or it's tan. Now, the one you really want to look for is going to be these. All right, so these are vintage Michelin Wild Gripper green gum wall mountain bike tires. They're usually 26 times 1.6 or 2.0 or 26. This is basically meaning the diameter and stuff like that, or circumference, whatever. But these are mountain bike tires. They're foldable, and they look like this. They're definitely vintage. They come from bikes that a lot of people that build up 80s type bikes are just dying to have these things. So that's what a Wild Gripper looks like, right? Pretty interesting. The tire looks like that. Let's see if we can get some better shots here. They're foldable as well. This one was in great condition. So these say used, which I don't agree with. This looks basically brand new to me, but probably used because maybe there's some sort of cracking on the gum wall or something. That's what this thing is. That's the gum wall right there. So when you find these in the wild, you definitely want to look at the condition of the gum wall. You could still sell them for like probably 80 to 70 bucks if the gum wall is a little rough. This gum wall is in great condition. Like, these look basically new. I'm surprised he didn't put mint or something, this guy. But that said, that's definitely a really interesting bolo to look out for. And see, people put them on like vintage bikes. Like, here's a 1998 homegrown Schwinn, and this one comes with 2 Wild Grippers right here. But more importantly, let's take a look what people are asking for new ones real quick, or maybe just used. Here we go, some vintage Michelin Wild Gripper Light, 26 2.1 rear and 1.95 front, green gum walled tires, 99 are best to offer. And those are tires that, man, I'm telling you guys, like, just look in your garage sales, look at it. I found my 2 at a bicycle swap meet of all places. And they were like, what, I think he sold me 2 for like 15 bucks or something like that. And they look exactly like this right here. But, they also come in like thinner, like 26 times 1.4. These are for more like hybrid type bikes. And these don't have these have okay resale, but not as much as like a gum wall, right? That color, the tan sidewall. That's definitely the one that most people want to get their hands on. Now, if you're looking at this and you're kind of like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I wish I knew some other brands that made some green tires. So there is another brand that you should know about. It's called GX, G-A-X tires. Now, they make a ton of tires, right? GX makes like crap loads of tires, blah, 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 blah. But they do make one called, let me see if I can find it. And this one also, like, if you find this one, here's one, a GX green. This one's called a Hook. They make one called a Hubi as well, H-U-B-I, which is a 26 times 2.0 foldable green walled mountain bike tire. Look at this. One of these GX ones, just a rubber band around it, looks brand new. Oh, actually, it says pre-owned, but that looks pretty new to me. It says $49.99 with free shipping. I guarantee you. Actually, I almost thought about buying this the other day from this guy, because that's how rare these things are. Like, when you're building the right kind of bike and you need the right kind of look, it's just impossible. And you can kind of see if we just do GX, like, nobody, it's just so hard to find them that nobody has them. So anyways, those are 2 brands I want you guys to look for: GX green tires and also the Michelin Wild Gripper tires. But while we are on the actual topic of Michelin Wild Gripper, let me show you something really cool. So they make a Michelin Wild Gripper Under Armour shoe, which is really neat. Let me show you real quick. So they're called Under Armour UA Fat Tire GTX Gore-Tex boots. They make them in men's and women's, but I don't know if you can find this anymore. They're called UA Fat Tire. Let me see if I can find, that might be easier to do. UA Fat Tire. They make some different ones, but you can see right here, Under Armour Fat Tire Gore-Tex hiking boot with Michelin Wild Gripper undersole, $322.92 for a shoe, dude. Look at this. $179.99, size 13 men's. There was a time where they were on the site for like 120. That was the lowest I ever found them on the Under Armour site, and I was gonna buy a bunch of them, but I didn't pull the trigger, and maybe that wasn't the best deal, but they make the low cuts, but the high cuts are where it's at because they also have the BOA ratcheting mechanism, which is made by, I think, Solomon or something like that. But anyways, they do make Wild Gripper fat tire, you know, normal colored ones like this and some camo. But I mean, when it comes down to like the look of what people really want, you can see that the boot is doing really, really well. The Under Armour. So they make bunches and bunches of colors, but this is the one that's really awesome right here. So I thought they're pretty cool. They don't have the best reviews. Like I've looked up the reviews because I actually wanted a pair for myself, but they're still nevertheless very, very amazing. You never know. Maybe there's a Gander Mountain closing near you, or some store that's doing 50% off, and you can grab a couple pairs for like 60 bucks a piece or something like that. Try to remember, if you see the Michelin logo right there, I think it says Wild Gripper on the side, if I'm not mistaken. We can take a look at a picture real quick, guys. But this is just an interesting kind of bolo. I know Michelin's on the side right there, and I swear it said Wild Gripper on some of the models. But this is essentially Wild Gripper undersole. So, oh, there it is right there. You can see it. See, it says Wild Gripper. Same kind of stuff as those mountain bike tires. So definitely something to look out for. I'm always trying to show you guys some pretty interesting things, or at least what's going on in my head when I look for Wild Gripper type stuff. All right, so let's go to the next bolo. Hopefully you guys are having fun. Let me know if you like these types of shows. Are you learning anything? And let me know. Yeah, Henry S says, those are nubs on nubs. I need those for my 80s bike. I've never heard of those or even seen them. Trust me, they're really, really, really cool. Tom Sawyer says, hey guys, remember not to leave your tires out in the sun. It will degrade much faster. That's right. And if you do have a bike that you really care about and stuff, like suspend the bike, or turn it over and put it on its handlebars and its seat, so that way you don't get any flat spots on your tires or anything like that. But yeah, that's what you got to look for, those green tires right there. Now, when we're looking at green tires, I mean, I don't want you guys to be buying, you know, these. You got to be buying the brands like GX or Michelin, because when we go to green mountain bike tires, they got stuff that looks very close to GX tires right here, right? And these aren't worth really anything. So, but you know, here's a used Michelin Wild Gripper light vintage mountain bike tire, 1.95 front. It's sold for, man, someone snaked the hell out of this tire. I mean, like really paid attention and got one. But let's look at what one used one looks for. One used one went for 35 with shipping, and we can kind of just take a look, like what is the condition of this used one real quick. And you can see the gum wall looks pretty good. It has been mounted. You can see that it has rubbed from the rim, but the actual Wild Gripper looks pretty good. You'll know when it has cracks and stuff. It's very obvious, and it gets kind of crunchy, and it might start flaking. You can see that there's dry rot on the tire up there. See that on the rubber part? So that's something that might be one of the reasons why it's sold for this price, but I can guarantee you that it probably sold for this price because someone put it up for a way low price, and somebody that's building a vintage mountain bike doesn't care about that dry rot too much, right? Which is not it's not a terrible amount of dry rot. It's there, but it's not like super crazy. Oh, never mind. I take it back. Okay, so it is decently crazy dry rot, but you could still ride on it. You just wouldn't want to be doing any kind of trails or anything like that. You could ride it on the street and stuff, but any kind of trail stuff would definitely send rocks or tiny pieces like flying through your tire. You probably will not make it back with an inflated tire. But for someone that's building that 80s bike, you can kind of still see $35 for a tire. That's pretty pricey in my book. So that's that. Let me look at, I want to show you guys something else real quick that's pretty cool. I've sold one of these back in the day, like back in the day. So we're like, okay, stopwatch, big deal, right? So here's another bolo. This is bolo number 4 for you guys. Remember, if you're enjoying this show, hit the like button. So important. And if you really want to support the channel, there's 5 billion ways you can support my channel down below in the description feed. So go check out all those links and stuff. So stopwatch, you might be thinking, oh, stopwatch, nobody cares, right? Take that back, actually, because there's some cool things that you need to know about stopwatches, especially a brand or two. And plus the Russian ones, which are pretty interesting, and a sleeper kind of Seiko one, right? But let's take a look at some of these Hoyer ones, right? These are vintage stopwatches. Now, this is one of those, I did find a stopwatch like way back in the day. It wasn't working though, so I think I sold it for like 30 or something. But this show is about 8 items that sell for, $50 or more. And now we are on item number 4, and there clearly are some really amazing stopwatches that sell for, $50 or more. Now, Heuer is a really awesome brand, and you might be thinking, is that kind of efficient, like Tag Heuer? Yes, it's similar, or I think it's the same company. But a stopwatch looks a lot like a timepiece, so you don't want to get them mistaken, okay? If you don't know what a timepiece looks like, please look up timepiece. But a timepiece is something that was used in, the late 1800s, early 1900s, and people they used it to keep time, and they would have a little chain that went from, I think, like a lapel to a pocket or something like that on their blazer. But either way, that is not what we're looking at. That's a whole different market all in itself. Okay, this is actual just stopwatches. Okay, that means like people running and like sprints, or stopwatches that are used for swimming, although those are a little bit more like box type. But these are just portable ones that go in your hand. So check it out. And these, it should be pretty easy to figure out if they work, because I think you wind the top on these, if I'm not mistaken. So you wind right here, and then you click these buttons to do what you need it to do. But here we are still, like I've done a couple scrolls already, and we're still in the 79 category, vintage Heuer Trackstar 7 jewel stopwatch. I mean, it's a really nice piece of, almost looks like running history right here. But let's keep going. Let's go down, because they're mostly, Russian ones and stuff, like Soviet ones. Heuer, I want to say Heuer might be German, but here we are, and I'm keeping on scrolling, right? Here's a Slava. This is a USSR one. Here's a Heuer one, but this person said Hever TrackMate stopwatch. That was a huge mistake. Not the right word on that one. But yeah, vintage stopwatches. Here we go. And here's the Sleeper Seiko one. I mean, I know that we could find, maybe we got us, as in like the hustler crew that's watching this video. I know we should start looking around for this one. This is interesting. I could see this being on a table somewhere at some garage sale for like 50 cents. So just remember, if it looks like a stopwatch, you might take 2 seconds out of your life to just look deeper into it. But these right here, if you're looking for this general look, then you might be finding a stopwatch, and you might be finding an actual timepiece. And a timepiece is just, same kind of caliber as a stopwatch. It's just you cannot put stopwatch when you're dealing with a timepiece, because a timepiece is totally different. So, but yeah, here we go. Here's a vintage Breitling one right here. 13 bids at 55.56. Anytime this brand I see it, like I'm surprised that this person sold it for that much. Like that's probably $100 stopwatch right there in my book if I was to find that one. So here we are, $50 category. And we're still with all these other ones from USSR and vintage ones. So here's another one, right? A Seiko's S051. I mean, I don't think people at garage sales will try to ask a premium for this. Like, I just don't see it. So, definitely something that we should know about as the hustler crew. And yeah, so now let's take it one step further. This wasn't planned in the show, but let's just take a look at what a digital stopwatch maybe sells for. Who knows? Like, we're looking at analog ones real quick, right? And so we're still at sort by highest, used, and sold. And we can see that at this point, yeah, it's probably not worth your time, right? Stopwatches are just junky stopwatch. You can find these everywhere. Every Goodwill will have some of these, and you don't want to be messing with them too much. So it's really the analog mechanical ones is the ones that you guys want to look for, okay? And that's the reason why I wanted to put this one in the show, is because these in this style is what you got to be looking for. All right, I'm gonna go into the feed for 1 second. Yeah, I think, okay, so people are saying thanks for the bolos, thanks a lot, thanks for the show, Bonafide. We got Marvin in the house, Kimberly, Henry, Tom Sawyer, Death Piles, Thriller Gorilla Picka. Thriller Gorilla Picka, send me the picture of that bike, the Norco Spitfire, I want to see it. Axel Rosa, Norco's a pretty decent brand though. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the house. All right, Belita Wall, Parrot Head Picker, Rhiannon. Happy Monday to you, Rhiannon. Okay, so the next one that I want to show you guys, there's actually 9 things I want to discuss with you on this show, not 8, because there's always a bonus involved when you watch my show. This one's interesting, okay? So bear with me. I'm always looking for these things, but they're super elusive. Like, puffy stickers are tough to find. The last set I ever found was already stuck to like a random like Trapper Keeper thing that I'd hustled back in the day. So I'm trying to find them like not, it'd be nice to find them unstuck. It would be nice to find them like in sheets. But it's puffy stickers, right? So let's take out this vintage Generation 1 My Little Pony thing, but let's look at some of these other ones, these scratch and sniff puffy stickers. And if you're like, holy crap, who'd ever thought like puffy stickers would sell, or those scratch and sniff things, you know, take a look at that. So if you ever find these at garage sales, I would definitely say maybe pick them up. When you're looking at things that look drab, the colors are drab, it's not exciting like today colors, you know, then this is probably something vintage, right? And vintage scratch and sniff type stickers are really interesting. So these are puffy ones, 75 bucks. The funny thing is, if you do your research properly, like this person that sold this for 75 must have really wanted the money, because clearly like these are really hard to find. And you know, maybe this person should have put 100 and just waited it out. I don't know how much this person has wrapped up into this stuff, but it can't be too much. But when you're dealing with something so rare, like a lot of times, you know, maybe best offer is not the right thing to do. Maybe it's just to try to get full price for those things. Look at this Lone Ranger one right here. The funny thing is, this one actually has a Toys R Us like sticker on it. It's really neat. I think it's Toys R Us or something like that. Yeah, there's a vintage Toys R Us sticker just chilling on this thing. I think it was 58 cents back in the day, and it's going now for 41.80 US dollars with 8.40 shipping. So that's essentially 50 bucks right there. But it's just a Lone Ranger puffy sticker. It's not even a scratch and sniff or anything. It's just puffy Lone Ranger, dude. Crazy, right? So definitely I'm on the lookout for stuff like that. Here's the Lone Ranger one himself, the actual Lone Ranger right there. But we're still on things like 11 bids at 33 bucks. Like, dude, like just put, you know, $59.99 and then take an offer for 50 bucks. Like vintage strawberry shortcake sticker lot, scented and puffy, right there, unstuck, pretty awesome, right? There's some My Little Pony stuff and this and that. You know, even here, best offer, vintage 1980s sticker book with 750 stickers, Pac-Man, ET, puffy stuff, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at this real quick. I think these are stuck though. I don't think these are actually stickable, right? This is on someone's like sticker book. Still, it's like so cool though. If you look at it, man, the zoom function like not working on this stuff. I can see ET's head right there, some Santa Claus stuff, Wonder Woman, just a bunch of really interesting looking stickers. And yeah, you know, you could probably find this at a garage sale for like $5 or less. Popeye ones, a lot of cool pop culture kind of stuff in here. Yeah, I'm just really surprised this person only sold it for this much. So it says good used condition. All stickers are stuck on pages or the plastic as is. Oh man, really amazing stuff. I don't know why I'm fascinated by tiny things like this, but I think it's just neat, because the more that you know when you walk up to a yard sale, garage sale, or thrift store, like, you know, the more you can make. Now, you did hear me say that I did find some on a Trapper Keeper. So, you know, while we're on, we'll get a little bonus on this show. I haven't done any kind of research on this in at least 2 years. So let's take a look what a Trapper Keeper is going for these days, right? Let's check it out. If you don't know what a Trapper Keeper is, man, get out from under the rock. And yeah, it's amazing stuff when you find them. I found one 2 years ago when the Green Room meetup was in town. Spent $10 on it. I think I sold it for like 59 or so, maybe 63. But check this out. This is a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper right here. Trapper Keeper essentially is a binder that is, I would say, reasonably well built, that has some sort of theme to it. And it has like a piece of Velcro under this final lip right here. So you unvelcro this little lip right here, and then you can open the binder up. And Trapper Keeper, Mead was the maker of Trapper Keeper, I want to say. And Mead had, like, you can put all kinds of cool things in your Trapper Keeper, like dividers and like Trapper Keeper type folders in there. And they had their pre-cut, you know, holes in there. Everything just fit perfect in a Trapper Keeper. It was just a really neat part of pop culture in America back in the 80s and 90s. But Lisa Frank ones, like, I think this was a little past my 80s time, because in the 80s, like the Trapper Keepers were all like, I don't know, like action shots and techie kind of things and neat sports cars and stuff like that, when it was like male oriented Trapper Keepers. And the women's ones were, or the girl ones were, horses and stars shooting around and rainbows and stuff. So the Lisa Frank stuff was a little bit more in the 90s when I was when I was in high school. I wasn't messing with Trapper Keepers anymore. But we can kind of see, like right here, here's an action shot of a surfer going down a wave, $59.99 with $8.95 shipping, right? So look out for this kind of stuff. Like, it's really neat stuff. Anyway, you got to rescue it. You know, if you're at a garage sale, look at how it's a basic Trapper Keeper with nothing. Like, there's no anything on it. It just says Trapper Keeper, right? $54.99. Like, that's crazy. Here we go. Techie stuff, like techie neat guy stuff, right? For $50 basically in my book, right? Vintage me Trapper Keeper in 1980s, 90s, right there. There's a perfect example. Here's the rainbow one I was kind of talking about. $52.95 with three of the internal folders right there. So, you know, just neat stuff to look for to look forward to finding. I mean, this makes the garage sale days so much more interesting when you're like, holy crap, like I learned things on bolo videos or whatever. Like now I can go out to the field and try to find this stuff. I think that's what makes the shows so much fun. That's the reason why you should always be kind of like looking to learn more things. But the Lisa Frank ones seem to be selling for good money. I've seen some Lisa Frank ones like behind glass cases at thrift stores and stuff, but not to the point where I want to really commit and buy one. But the one that I found was the Ferrari car one, which I don't even know if it's here because it's that rare. But I found one with a Ferrari on it, and I remember having this one back in the day. But yeah, there is one with a Ferrari. Let's see if we can find it. It's like mega cool. I think it was a Testarossa on it. Look at that. Some people are asking me $150 for this Lisa Frank vintage 90s one. Shoot, man. LA Gear one. Look at that. But yeah, there was one that was like a Ferrari, which maybe it's so rare that it's not even on here. Maybe I should have held out for more money, but you know, you don't know. I thought $63 for mine was pretty damn good, and now I don't see it anywhere here. So if you know what I'm talking about, then yeah. See how it's kind of like weird futuristic techie stuff? Like here's one, it's pretty cool. It always takes me back. Hopefully I'm not the only weirdo that thinks this is cool, right? Thriller Gorilla Picker says, Chris, I still have my Lambo Trapper Keeper. That's so rad. That's so cool. Yeah, man. So anyways, man, look at these plain ones, man. People are asking $28 for the plain ones. That's what's cool about this show. You know, I get sometimes people saying like, can't you just make the shows like really short in like 5 minutes and just tell me what to buy? Like, look, if you're watching my channel, like I'm just not that kind of a guy. Like I feel as if it's a disservice to just show you what it is and like, all right, see you later. You know, like I just don't feel right about that kind of stuff. I think it's important to teach you guys, I'm back, to kind of how to fish. Like, you know, why does my mind work like this and what to look out for and the flaws and everything, or why something is worth a whole lot, like a Trapper Keeper. Like, why is it? You know, what the hell is a Trapper Keeper? So that's the reason why I do the shows, and I kind of teach you guys like what's up, or in my, you know, with my knowledge, like what I can give to you guys. Even though sometimes on some of these bolos, my knowledge is a little limited, but it's not very many of them. So that's good. Anyways, let's go to this next bolo. Hopefully you guys are having fun. I haven't even looked at the likes or dislikes, so you know, do me a solid favor and you know what to do. Now we are in the middle of the show here, so I am going to take the time. Look, if you like bolos and you want to learn more like bread and butter, that's what I call it, bread and butter type items. These are everyday kind of things that you can find at thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales. I mean, that bread and butter makes your month. Bread and butter, you know, helps pay the bills, whatever. And you need to know all those items. So 100 amazing items to resell. It's a PDF. You can put it right on your phone right now, and you can get it as the first link down below. So go check that out. Super important stuff. And that is made from the Green Room University, which is, you know, my company that I run with Rake and Profit and the College Picker. So check that out as well. That's the second link down below. If you want to join our thrifting community, we would love to have you. You guys ready for the next one? Let's go to the next bolo. Let me read a couple of remarks here. Axel Rosa says, I think it's cool. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, man, maybe it's like totally neat. The Ferrari is up to $4 auction right now, is what Henry S. says. Ramble on Rescue says, I love all the nostalgia. I've been selling off my My Little Pony collection and stickers piece by piece. That's the next thing actually on my list is some My Little Pony stuff, so we're going to look at that here in a second. I still have Micro Machines and G.I. Joe to go through as well. You know, Micro Machines is one of those interesting things that you would think has incredible resale, but a lot of it is very miss. You know how they say like hit or miss? I think a lot of Micro Machine stuff is very miss. So it's tough because Micro Machines was around for what seemed to be a solid 3 to 5 years, and it was like big deal. Like they made Micro Machines all kinds of stuff and play sets and all this neat type of like collar type things. Like you could just pick up the handle and wherever you go, like you could just put your play set down. You can unfold this thing and like a city was there and all your little Micro Machines and play with them. But it seemed to have a heyday. Now it's gone. Of course, now definitely it's gone. But like you would think that the resale would really be there. but it's a lot of miss. So in my personal opinion, because a lot of times when I find Micro Machine stuff, it's like in a bag or a box, and then like it's just really, really hard to find out what parts go to what set, where does it go on the set, because like these sets can get really, really intricate. But anyway, so I digress a little bit. Let me go back to the actual feed here. Rich Radical says, I put my Marvel cards in one of those when I was a kid into a Trapper Keeper. That's another really good bolo. Marvel cards and the holograms of like the edition 1 or whatever. I want to say that was like the early 90s. But when the first Marvel cards came out, there were these like hologram type cards that were like silver looking. And if you can have a complete set of that, and I remember it had like Magneto, Wolverine, all these like lead characters were in there, Nightcrawler and stuff, and the cards they looked awesome for back in the day, but if you look at them now, like they're very weird and crude. Like they don't look, I mean, everything now looks so much better, right? But you know, the printing and everything back in the day was just, that was as good as it got. So yeah, we might put that into a bolo show, but I do know firsthand about that. In fact, I think we have a complete collection in California. I don't know if my brother sold it off though, but we do have a complete edition of Marvel/X-Men, I think edition 1 plus the holograms, like all on this one thing. It's not in a Trapper Keeper though, but it is in a binder with those little like card slot looking things. I think it's in California, but so yeah, there's a lot of, okay, so vintage Lisa Frank stuff is pretty rare. Thriller Gorilla Picker says, no way, Chris, we learned from you and you bring back good memories. The 80s were rad, no pun intended. It's a great movie too. Yes. I'll tell you one of my favorite movies. I think it's an 80s movie. I mean, it might be early 90s, but there was one movie called Gleaming the Cube. I really, really enjoyed that movie. I mean, look, it doesn't hold a candle to like movies like The Goonies or Neverending Story or, you know, Stand By Me or any of those, but I thought Gleaming the Cube was a pretty solid movie. It was definitely one of my favorites back in the day. And if you know what it is, you know what it is, but it's really, really cool. Let's go to the next actual bolo. Okay, so let me screen share here. All right. Okay, so we're here now. A little digression right there to the Trapper Keeper, but that's good. You're getting an extra bolo out of the show. Okay, so here's the one I wanted to kind of show you guys, because there's G1, Generation 1, My Little Pony stuff. Let me go to used. This is interesting. I think this is definitely interesting. This is one where I have very limited knowledge. I'll admit it right now, but I'm on the lookout for this kind of stuff, because I can imagine finding this stuff in a bag, in a box, you know, just a bunch of random stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like my daughter used to mess with those back in the day. Now she's in college or whatever. Like that kind of like setup would be golden, because look at some of these G1 My Little Ponies, like what they're going for, right? So here's one right there. There's one right there. Here's a Italian yellow minty variant. Variant usually means a variation of something, right? But none of these, what I've noticed about these vintage ones, are none of these are, how do you call it? Variant is not the word I'm looking for, but a blemished one, or one where it got messed up or anything like that in production. Like none of these are those. Like these are just kind of normal My Little Ponies from back in the day. Look at this one, in the box, Maj, right? MAJ or whatever it's called. $400. Like that's crazy, right? So I'm assuming that G1 means Generation 1. Like that's just an assumption I'm making right now. But we can kind of see right here, we have My Little Pony, maybe Generation 4, and some Animal Friends and some cards that came with them, 315. Looks like this person sold that lot, maybe had 2 people that didn't pay, and they settled somewhere around this one. But you can kind of see there's some lots of My Little Ponies. But what really kind of strikes me as interesting is some of these random ones, right? Like there's just single ones. Some have the comb, some don't. But these single ones are really interesting to me. I really like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting. $210, 10 bids for a My Little Pony. Like that's just bonkers, man. So maybe I'm looking, or there's something I'm not seeing here, right? But yeah, I definitely want to start looking out for these and not pass them up. That's the best part about hustling, is you don't have to ask the questions why. You just have to, you know what to look for. because the why, who cares about the why? But if you know what to look for, that's everything right there. Okay, I'll take it back. You need to know why because you have to watch the show here and know, okay, like it's definitely a big piece of like 80s and 90s like playtime stuff for girls. But you don't really need to know technically why a lot of things that are singles sell for big money like this. Like I think it's important just to kind of know, and then as you find your lot, I know if I got a lot like this, I would definitely be going in eBay solds and looking to see if any one of these was any one of those premium ones that we just saw, because I would separate those and then sell the rest of the lot off. But I thought it was kind of cool. Like I said, I have limited knowledge on this stuff, but I'm definitely on the lookout for it. And if I'm on the lookout for it, you guys should be on the lookout for it as well. What is this? Ruby's ring, very hard to find and rare. Wow. A vintage UK exclusive baby Ruby's ring. Ring only, $129. Who out there is spending $129 for this tiny piece of plastic? I have to look at this. I'm sorry. Now I'm getting kind of like not curious. I'm kind of getting like, holy crap. Who is the person that bought this? Dude, what? It's just a piece of plastic. Like seriously? Look at this. What? Oh my gosh. This is just no. I don't. Man, maybe there's some like weird stuff going on behind the scenes here, but that just doesn't seem like it'd be worth that to me. But anyway, okay, this is even worse. Here we go. There's a pick and a wand and some sort of like shark tooth looking thing. It's a crown clip pick and wand. What is a pick for? Weird. Anyway, someone help me out. Why would there be a pick? Like, why would you need a pick? This is not related to guitars or anything. I don't see any other picks in any of these pictures. Why is there a pick? Someone please. Why is this bow or a barrette selling for $76.55? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So clearly this has gone on a tiny bit of a tangent because I'm trying to understand a couple things, which maybe I need to spend some more time and look at this. But Tom Sawyer says, what if it's just one obsessed person buying up all these ponies? Maybe it is. Maybe. Don't know. Okay, so anyways, I thought it was pretty cool stuff right there. You definitely got to know about that bolo. We got College Picker in the house as well. He's my associate. No, he's my business partner. I got some really good bolos I want to show you though real quick. The next one's interesting. Now, I'm always on the lookout for this one, and so is my brother, but when we find them, we seem to find ordinary ones. So the key is to find good ones. So anyway, it's just a good bolo. What is going on here? Welcome to my new eBay shopping experience. Get out of here. I don't even know about that right now. Pre-owned. That'll be interesting. Put pre-owned, which is definitely the thing. Why did it just reverse everything that I did? Dude, this thing like literally I think updated while we had the show. My eBay somehow did something weird. What did I do? Like it looks totally different now. Anyway, yeah, these Yankee Candle things are interesting, but these tart burners are really like what I'm interested in looking at. So yeah, there's some candles that are like very, very hard to find, like this rare unused candle right here, $49.92. We're still in solds pre-owned, which if that was brand new, I don't know what is doing it pre-owned, but it's these tart burner things which are interesting. It's a tart burner, you put a little candle in it, it's kind of like a little, how do I say it? It's like a little scene of something, okay? So here is a Halloween tart burner ghost tree, 64 bucks. Dude, you know this is at a garage sale for like 5 or less. So maybe I'll just type in Yankee tart. It's a tart warmer, I guess. What was it called? Tart burner, but anyways. So let's take a look at this and go to used because there's some interesting looking ones. Some look like a haunted house. So here's a tart candle burner warmer thing. $165.50 for this one. 32 bids. Here's a completely different one. Or maybe it's just, oh, it's a different one. Okay, so here we go. Witch tart warmer right there. Interesting. Here's one. Double bowl tart burner warmer, which I think you put something in here, you put a candle underneath it, and then it makes it smell real good. That's my assumption. Here's a tart. There's a little sled Christmas tree looking one, tart warmer. Like seriously, like people buy this stuff. Look at how much money is being spent on these tart warmers, man. This is not even like Scentsy stuff either. Like this is just Yankee candles, like with tiny little tea. My assumption is they're just teacup little tiny little candles here, and then you put some sort of thing here that turns into liquid because of the heat. But look at this. Here's a Halloween tart warmer right here. It's in a box. Two completely different listings right there, selling for right around the same price. A Christmas tart warmer, a rare one. You could put rare. It seems like anybody can put rare these days on anything. But yeah, still, we're still above 50 bucks. That's what the show's all about. 8 items that sell for 50 bucks or more. Here's one that Jason T. Smith would like, a tiki bar tart warmer, right? And a bunch of other random. Here's one for Jason T. Smith again, another one. But I just wanted to make sure you guys understood or could be able to spot a tart warmer, right? So that's interesting stuff there. If you really want to find something kind of interesting as well, these Scentsy warmers. See how Scentsy warmers right in here? Because it's essentially the same, I wouldn't say the same thing, but it's different. If I think a Scentsy also uses plug-in electricity with a bulb that gets real hot, which warms the stuff up and it makes your house smell real good. This one actually deals with a candle underneath, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they make electric tart warmers, blah, blah, blah. But the Scentsy ones are cool. Here's your extra little micro bolo right here. Some of the Scentsy ones, when we go to solds and we go into used, you'll be like, holy crap. I think I've showed this on a show, though. So I thought it was kind of, we'll revisit it right here. But here's some Scentsy warmer display with outlets and a power cord. $127.50. So I guess you put your Scentsy stuff on this. I have no idea. Oh, here we go. This is what it's supposed to look like. Seriously, who is doing, like, do you really want your house to smell that good? Oh, I get it. Okay, so never mind. So this is for someone that works for Scentsy, or like, you know, like Scentsy, I guess, is like Mary Kay-ish or Rodin and Fields-ish, where you bring your stuff to people's parties and you're a consultant, you make money, and you do this kind of stuff. So this is what you need to bring to the parties. I get it now. Okay. But still, look at some of these warmers, right? 2010 special edition Frog in a Well warmer, $113. Here's one that looks like a fire truck with or a truck with a Christmas tree in the back. Here's one that looks like a skull. Here's one that says Air Force. Here's another one that says Navy. Like, look at these warmers, right? Fire department one, Marines. Like, they're going for great money. So there's your secret bolo, another one right there for the show. Let's go to the one that's really cool. I like this one a lot. Now, I actually happen to have, I've owned 2 of these, okay? I've owned a 2008 and I've owned a 2013 FJ Cruiser. But you might be like, okay, I'm not going to resell a freaking car bona fide, or I'm not going to resell a truck that costs a lot of money to acquire it. But how about you actually hustle maybe the manuals? No one thinks about this kind of stuff, but let's take a look at it, right? FJ Cruiser, very iconic vehicle that was actually built by reverse engineering, I believe, American Jeeps. I think Japan, I don't know how they got them, but they got some American Jeeps, reverse engineered them, built the FJ40 back in the 60s, maybe the 70s, something like that. And then the FJ has been made to essentially, like, most Land Cruisers have FJ as like part of their body code type or whatever model type. But so yeah, the FJ Cruiser was made from 07 to 2014. Looks like this. You still see them on the roads these days. But we're in solds, we're in used, and we're in highest first. The important thing here is to pay attention to these manuals. All right, these are just booklets, okay? But they're not just booklets to people that collect them, because when you have a Land Cruiser, I can imagine that it would be just like an old Jeep or a Willys. Like when you go to car meets and people ask you questions about this kind of stuff, it's cool to have like a booklet of your restoration progress and like, or pictures of your restoration, because it's very hard to find these for a good price that are fully restored. Like they're usually like 30 grand or more. So people buy them, you know, kind of like in dump status, like with limited rust on them, 7 grand or so. And they invest a lot of money into these things, and they get them just right to where they're perfect looking and they ride perfect. And, you know, when you go to these 4-wheel drive meets or whatever, it's cool to have some of the vintage stuff with it, like the manual sitting there on your seat, you know. So the manual of the FJ Cruiser, look at this stuff, man. 1972 one, 1979 one, you know, 219 just for the manual, 245. with best offer. Okay, so here's another one, 195 right here. This one's all beat to hell. You know, FJ40 or FJ45. Here we go. If you're like, okay, like I'm really gonna find that bona fide, all right. But you can actually find maybe this one right here, 81 to 84, right? FJ40, FJ45, FJ60, a set of them, 180 to 995. If you're like, okay, let's go a little bit more current, fine. 1988, 142.99. This is a Land Cruiser that we still see on the roads these days, or these kind. You know, they're hella slow. They cost a lot to maintain, but still, you know, at a car meet, like these things are now like in fully restored condition, going for like 26 grand or so. And if you're like, all right, what about more current ones, bona fide? Like, what does that look like? I got you. Here's a 2012 Toyota FJ Cruiser owner's manual with case. Okay, the case is just a little fake leather bound thing. That's not really a case, but essentially you have your warranty thing, you have your manual. Like I said, I've owned 2 of these, so I know what this stuff is. But, you know, what I think really people give it, or how do I say it, that they really care about is the actual one that is the manual itself. Let me see if I can find it. It's usually the one, there it is. So it's kind of different. Okay, so there's a manual one right there, the one on the far left, this one right here in the middle. That's the main one that you really want to look for, the actual manual. The other ones are just random stuff like warranty and maintenance guide, which should be all marked up. If you're a good FJ owner, you're going to get stamps from your dealership, check marks and stuff, and plus the person that worked on your car is going to sign it. There's a quick reference guide. Who cares? Owner's warranty, blah, blah, blah. It's the manual that really people are going for. So we can take a look at other ones, but we're still way above 50 bucks. 85 one, 2014, 2008, 1975, 2014 one again, owner's manual. And we just keep going down. Here we go, an engine repair manual. Not even a freaking manual to the actual truck. It's just the engine repair manual, $66. So there's a huge following for FJ Cruiser type stuff. It's just no different than like a really classic car, like a Corvette or Camaro or Cobra or something like that. When you get the actual right stuff together, when you go to these car meets or truck meets, like it's a presentation type thing. It's really neat to have it all together. So here you go, just the manual itself, owner's manual of a 2014 FJ Cruiser, $59.99. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy if you think about it. That's like really crazy. 2007, $44.99. And the funny thing is, this person's selling a lot of them. I don't know where this person's getting them. Toy, whatever, 432. You know, he's marking up his manuals with some tape. I've seen, here's another one, Toy 408, Toy 408. See, this same person is just selling manuals on eBay and crushing it. Look at this, 40 bucks, 40 bucks. I don't know where this, I have a feeling that maybe this person's maybe working at Toyota or something like that, right? And has access to this type of stuff. And maybe it's just making money on the side. But that's just my speculation. Maybe there's a way to get these manuals in bulk somewhere. I don't know where. But if we take a look at, the previous pages, hold on, let me look at them real quick. I thought we're on, maybe that was the top page. No, there's another page behind this. Where the hell do I get to it? Oh, I just go back, I guess, right? But we saw like that person clearly isn't messing with any of these vintage ones because those are really hard to find. But when it starts coming to current day Land Cruiser or FJ Cruiser manuals, like I've started seeing this dude's tape all over his stuff here and there. So maybe that's a way to make money if you work at Toyota. Here's one right here, 60 bucks. Here's another one, 60 bucks. The person's tape like all over it. Thought it was pretty interesting. So that's definitely a sleeper bolo right there for you guys. I actually have a 2013 one sitting in my house somewhere. I got to go get it and list it. But definitely a good bolo. All right. And the last one real quick. The last one is going to be, this is interesting. This one I have limited experience with. Whoop. These STX gloves, I'm always trying to find them. They're tough to find. Okay, so we go to used, and this is definitely some of those things you should be looking for when you go to garage sales and stuff. I've sold Lacrosse helmets like you wouldn't believe, but I'm always looking for the gloves, like the good ones, like the STX Shadow. Look at that, like $212.50 for a pair of Lacrosse gloves. Like, dude, really? STX Stallion men's Lacrosse. Now, a lot of times people like the colors of these. Carolina blue, you know, if you get that Carolina blue. But outside of that, I mean, study these gloves because Lacrosse gloves can bring in really good money. So we got some gold ones right here. Rare gold Lacrosse glove, size 13. 149. A lot of times when you go to a garage sale, you're going to see piles of stuff like this for Lacrosse. I'd pay attention to that helmet and these gloves right here. Some of the sticks are really good too, but I've yet to make a killing on sticks yet. So, but I have sold some Lacrosse gloves before back in the day that were in pretty damn good condition. I want to say they were brines, but they fetched like 30 or 40 bucks, nothing nuts. But I'm still on the hunt for these crazy, crazy ones, like so the STX ones like that. So definitely something to look out for. I wanted to make sure that that was in my bolo video because I'm always looking for these in Goodwills and stuff. So we'll see if I can find a pair, you know, as I make my rounds across town. So there you go, and we're still definitely in the $50 range. Like they're all over here. You know, gloves are everywhere. Blah 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 blah. So something to look forward to. I'm gonna stop the video right here. I'm gonna come back to you guys. What was your favorite bolo? Well, let me know. I'll stick around for about a couple more minutes, but that's essentially the end of my video. 8 items that you can resell on eBay for 50 bucks or more. Thought it was a pretty, you know, I love doing videos like this because it really like keeps training me and training my mind. And it allows me to share with you guys, like, and gals, like what I'm looking for when I go to garage sales and yard sales and thrift stores. So what was your favorite one? We went over Cuckoo clocks, irons, right? Clothing irons and presses. We went over wild gripper tires, stopwatches, mechanical stopwatches, analog stopwatches. We went over puffy stickers, trapper keepers, My Little Pony, Yankee candles. We went over all our Yankee candle tart holders. We went over also some of the Sensi ones, FJ manuals for FJ cruisers, Land Cruisers, and Lacrosse gloves. Man, that's a freaking action-packed show right there. Yeah, so I definitely want to share that with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Everyone was saying, I'm blown away by the stickers and the My Little Ponies. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, like crazy, crazy stuff out there. So, you know, good luck to everyone out there that's trying to find some of this stuff. Out of all these things, I have successfully hustled 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So 5. That's pretty good. Pretty neat. So anyways, that's pretty much it. And everyone's saying the My Little Pony stuff. That's pretty interesting, I know. So good luck to everyone out there. Do me a solid favor, hit the like button. Don't forget to pick up the free guide from the Green Room University. It's the first link down below. But yeah, you know, if you ever want to interact or anything, leave comments on this video. I'm sure it'll probably do pretty well on my channel. And I always read the comments. I can't get back to all the comments anymore because, you know, channel's grown and everything, but it's always good to give back to people. Did you know I got spotted twice? I got spotted on Friday and on Saturday. Isn't that crazy? Like I'm telling you, the YouTube channel has done a lot of things in the past 4 or 5 years. Not only has it led to, you know, business opportunities for us as the admins, but it's just interesting because these videos go very widespread. And I got seen in Savers on Friday when I was at Savers, and then when I was at my garage sale, you know, just garage sailing on Saturday. I didn't even film anything. I was just garage sailing with a friend and my brother, and someone spotted me there too. And they were like, "Oh, I watch your videos and really cool stuff that you talk about." And that's really fun. Like that, I do it for a lot, you know, many reasons, and compensation being one of them too. The videos, if it's a good video, end up paying well over time. But more importantly, it's just neat to show you guys how to become a good hustler, or like how to start doing proper research, what to look for, why nostalgia kind of wins a lot of times when it comes to neat things to hustle. I just try to bring that to light. And, you know, there are a lot of ways to make money out there, guys. There's a ton of ways. I like this way a lot. Other people like bins a whole lot. Some people might like actual auctions where you're sitting down and raising cards. You know, some people might enjoy just going to Walmarts and Ross's and stuff and hustling. There's so many ways to hustle, and not a single one of them is wrong. But this is one of the ways that I really like to hustle, and I think it's fun and it's challenging, and you can come across some really, really cool things. So anyways, hit the like button on my video. All right, anytime one of my videos comes, you better hit the like button. Until then, yeah, we're gonna have an amazing week. I'll be back on shows tomorrow, and then we have an amazing Green Room Hangout on Wednesday, which is we're gonna talk about Q4 Amazon, you know, how to really kill it with FBA and RA and all that kind of stuff. That should be good. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for being really cool in the feed. Everyone's all good. And hit the like button. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video tomorrow. I'll be back. Take it easy. Goodbye.